Welcome to Espresso JAMs, short, concentrated, delicious conversations about business, life, and more. And now, here's your host, Joe Max.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. I have the honor today of having a good friend of mine, Christine Walorz of Walorz Insurance, and she is a life insurance expert. Welcome to the show, Christine.
Thanks, Joe. I'm so happy to be here.
It is great to have you here. And tell our listeners, where do you hail from?
Well, I am originally from Massachusetts and I now reside in Holly Springs, North Carolina, southwest of Raleigh.
Okay. I didn't know you were from up north.
You didn't? Yes,
No,
I am from the Boston area.
I won't hold it against you.
Okay, it's a great place. You should visit if you
It
haven't
is.
been.
No, I love Boston,
Yeah,
actually. Boston is great. I love it. Lots of energy in that town.
yeah.
So Christine and I, we got talking a little while ago about insurance, and that's Christine's specialty. It's not mine. Luckily, there's folks like Christine, and it is her specialty. And we got talking about how some people just get in the habit of not reviewing their insurance because it's easy. It's there. It comes out every month or every whatever every year, right? What? So how does it happen that people get into that phase where they just don't review their insurance?
Well, there is something to be said for set it and forget it, right? You want to get it set up and you want to think about it long term, that you're going to have this life insurance for a long time, right? We want to make sure we have that mindset. However, we go through so many different things in our lifetime that many times we need to review our life insurance to make sure that it is the right life insurance to meet our needs wherever we may be in life right now,
Right. And I understand a lot of people don't want to talk about life insurance.
right?
But it is something, and there's something to be said for set it and forget it. That makes a lot of sense. But also with car insurance and home insurance and
Hmm.
almost everything insurance, things change.
Sure.
Life changes.
Absolutely. You buy a new car, you move homes. And also, a lot of people just naturally review their home and auto every year because they're looking for a better price or they bought a new car and they have to go through everything again. But when it comes to life insurance, people do forget that, when they have children or more children, they might need more life insurance, or they buy a bigger home and they have a bigger mortgage, more debt, so they may require more life insurance, or they're heading into retirement. So there's so many different times in our life, these like big milestone moments. If you think about those, that's when you want to sit down and have someone review your life insurance. Just make sure you have enough and make sure you have the right kind.
Right. And I had a lot more life insurance when my kids were younger and
Exactly.
before they finished college, because I
Right.
wanted to be sure that they were able to get that done without the financial constraints one might have to go through. And then I didn't need that anymore. So I didn't figure I needed to spend money on that anymore.
Well, that's true. I mean, you always have the most insurance when your children are their youngest and your debt is at its highest. Or even if you don't have children, but maybe you have a partner or a spouse, you want to make sure that your coverage is the highest when you need it to be. Like you mentioned, college, right? A lot of people feel responsible for taking care of college for their kids or their dependents. So we definitely want to make that's covered with the life insurance if we were to die suddenly or earlier than we hope. Um, but yeah, making sure, and then as time goes on too, right? I always say to people, I don't believe in over insuring. So we get what you
Hmm.
need. And then as your needs change, you need this much life insurance, and then eventually you need less life insurance, but you're still alive
You're
and
still
you're going to
alive.
die someday. So you at least need some coverage there for funerals.
Something, right. And one of the
Something.
things, now, when I got one of the policies, it was a 30-year policy.
Hmm.
And the premium became very small over the years,
Hmm.
but the benefit also became very small over the years.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So that's called a decreasing term.
it's not a well, because of inflation. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing.
Well, there are different types of life insurance, which again is why you always want to review your life insurance at different times in your life because things change and you might need a different type of life insurance. So, when I was very young, I got my first house. I was in my early 20s, and I got what was known as a decreasing term. So, I had the death benefit was higher in the beginning, And over time, that death benefit got smaller. It kind of coincided with my mortgage.
Oh,
Now I changed it.
I've
Oh,
never
go
heard
ahead.
of anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So,
they
but what
had
I
that.
like
Okay.
to make sure is that my clients have locked in rates. So you get the best rate that you can afford, that your budget allows. Lock that rate in for those 30 years or 20 years or 15 years, or maybe it's whole life. And I also want to make sure that the death benefit never goes down. We want it to stay the same or grow. Don't want it to go down, not unless you've made that specific decision to change the type of life insurance and lessen it because your kids have grown.
And even with that set
Mhm.
up with that thinking, you still need to review it, right?
Yes, always. But if you, I mean, like you said, like you don't want to be paying for $1 million worth of life insurance when you've got a $300,000 mortgage and it's just you and your partner at home and the kids are grown and, there's no major debt, there's nothing else to worry about, just that small mortgage. Then you can adjust how much you have.
And you may not need that. Yeah,
Exactly. You don't need $1 million forever. You know,
right,
that's my philosophy.
right. And I have seen with car insurance over the years that the algorithms seem to change. Sometimes they're trying to build up their portfolio with a certain demographic, and
Mm.
sometimes they're not, and companies will change. So I think that's one of the reasons there are different rate quotes with different companies. Would you agree with that?
Hmm. Well, that's a little different when it comes to life insurance. I will tell you this. People talk a lot about, the older you get, the more expensive your life insurance will be. Like if you don't have it yet and you
Mm.
want to get it. And that is true. But life insurance is actually less expensive now than it was 10 years ago.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So, as far as algorithms and things like that, what's going on behind the scenes at insurance companies and how they work the mortality tables and
Mm.
what kind of risk morbidities carry. I mean, it gets, I don't want to get into all that nitty gritty, but that's one of the reasons why everyone should review their policies, because you might have put a policy in place 10 years ago. How do you know that today you couldn't get better coverage for a better rate?
Right. And I have a friend who does that for a large insurance company, friend from
Hmm.
college. It's so confusing. He tried to explain it to me one time, and I said, I'll just take I'll just take the algorithm. I can remember that word. Algorithms change.
I don't want to worry about algorithms. I just worry about the people. I'm going to worry about you and your loved ones instead of protection. And I'm going to leave algorithms and mortality rates to the underwriters. I just want to take care of you.
I like that. And that's what's important. And that's why you're so good at what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, great. So if we were to leave our listeners with a nugget of
Yeah.
information and an action step, what might that be?
That's easy. Everyone needs to review their life insurance policies. So reach out to your agent and set up an appointment with them. If you don't have a local agent, you can always reach out to me. We just sit down. It doesn't cost you anything, but we want to make sure that you understand it and everyone in your family understands your coverage.
Okay. And I would like to say also for business owners, businesses change and
Yeah.
and lifestyle changes. So it's very important to review when you have a business. It may be even more important.
Absolutely. You might have business debt, or you didn't have business debt in the beginning and now you've taken on new business debt. Absolutely. You want to make sure you're checking your coverage, make sure you have enough.
Right. And I just like to throw out there, review your car insurance too.
Review all your
All your
insurance,
insurance.
everything you have that's insurance. Always make sure you have a relationship with an agent and that they're looking out for you. And you just call them up and say, help me understand what I have and let's see if I can do better.
Okay, that's great. And if someone would like to get in touch with you and just talk about insurance, how could they do that?
Oh, I love to talk about insurance. They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Facebook. They can email me at walorztina@gmail.com, and they can call me or text me. I'll put all that information in the comments for everyone, but I'm pretty
Okay.
easy to find.
Okay, very good. And we'll have it written down below too for everyone who is with us.
That's great.
And Christine, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. It has been awesome talking with you.
Thank you.
And
I really appreciate it.
I will thank all my listeners too, all of our listeners. Great.
Yeah,
And
thanks for anybody that listens or watch. You do a great job, Joe.
thank you. Appreciate that. Well, have a good day, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye bye.